Hello subscribers, this is yours truly JBlue68 coming to you with yet another video. This will be a comic book haul video. I know I've been MIA for a couple of days now, and I'll tell you why in a moment, but first I just want to say thank you subscribers, thank you for joining the JBlue68 community. I hope that you like my videos. Please like, share, subscribe to my videos. Comment as well. Tap the notification bell so you can get more videos like this as I post them immediately. This is a late comic book haul, and the books are late too, because these are books that are probably about a week or so old. That's always the case with me. A lot of stuff that I've ordered is either on hold or it's going to be coming in late in the mail. A lot of things, I guess, have been happening lately with shipping. With UPS. I don't really know what's going on, but in any case, a lot of my stuff, again, is late. So this is a day after Comic Book Wednesday. Comic Book Wednesday was, of course, June 28th. Today is June the 29th, Thursday. My apologies. But the other thing, too, I always say that I'm behind on my comic book reading. Excuse me. I always say that I'm behind on my comic book reading. Well, one of the other reasons why I have been MIA is because I've been catching up on my comic book reading. I've read a lot of comic books over the past few days, as well as catching up on some of my favorite television shows. The recent Secret Invasion, which came out last week, and I watched the first 2 episodes, and I want to say I'm entirely impressed. I love the serious tone. I'm glad that they've gotten away from a lot of the comedy, that a lot of people complain about, that they've been doing in some of their shows. I think so far, what I've seen, and I'm not going to give away any spoilers, I'm very impressed by what they've done. And I'll tell you, I think that this Secret Invasion subplot is probably more important than the Kang Dynasty plot that they're planning for the next phase of 5 and 6 films. Anyway, all right. So, and speaking of films, one of the first comic books that I have on display here is The Flash. Flash number 800 from DC Comics. It's a DC Extra Size Spectacular, as it says on the cover here. And alongside that, I have the, and I showed this in one of my shorts videos, the Flash popcorn bucket, which has the actor Ezra Miller on it. And of course, I've said before, he's not my Flash. But I seen the movie, and believe it or not, I was impressed by it. I hear it's not doing well in theaters, but I thoroughly enjoyed the film. It was actually pretty darn good. I expected little from it, but I was impressed by it. I'll just show you more of the popcorn kettle before I actually get into the comic book haul. I think this is a really good design. This is from MJR. AMC theaters had one too that glowed in the dark or something like that, but I really like the design of this. So I went ahead and got this instead of the one from AMC Theater. So anyway, all right. So let's get into the comic book haul itself. I have issues. I have a lot of issues. I have DC Comics. I have some independent comics to show. And of course, we'll get into Marvel Comics too. So this is a celebration of Wally West, The Flash. I haven't read this yet. And this marks the 800th issue of The Flash. So yeah, there we go. Next up, we get into book 2 of Shazam, Man vs. Myth. Okay. And while I thought the movie was crappy, the last movie, the sequel to the first Shazam movie, I thought it was crappy. The comic books are actually pretty good, and I do like that drawing very much. I think this is by Mark Waid. He's the writer of the story, with Mora and Sanchez contributing as both artists and pencilers to this book. All right. So issue number 2 of Shazam. Then we get into Dawn of DC. With issue number 1 of Steelworks. This is, of course, Steel, the character who was introduced years ago, almost about 20-something years ago, during the Death of Superman series. And they made a movie of it, which was absolutely horrible, which starred the basketball player Shaq. It was horrible. However, the animated series based off of this character, which is voiced by Michael Dorn. If you don't know who Michael Dorn is, he played in Star Trek as Worf, the Worf from Star Trek. What was it? Next Generation. So yeah, he is actually the writer and contributor to this book. This is issue number 1 of Steelworks. And of course, I haven't read it yet, but I can't wait to read it. And yes, so Dawn of DC, issue number 1, Steelworks. And then here's issue number 2 of Green Lantern, Planet Earth Guaranteed, whatever that's supposed to mean. And there's was Kilowog, one of the Green Lanterns. Looks like he's wearing an apron or something like that. It's pretty comedic type, I guess, cover. I like the artwork though. And it says it also features the story of John Stewart, Homecoming, Part 2. So there's a mini stories featured in this particular book. What I was trying to say, I was thinking when I was talking about Steelworks, Michael Dorn was as a Klingon. He's a Klingon, and his name is Worf in Star Trek. That's what I was trying to think of. That's why I was kind of stuttering, I guess, or hesitating, because my memory was jogging of what race or species that he belonged to in the Star Trek series. But yes, he's a Klingon who's part of the Federation and a crew member on the Enterprise. But anyway, moving forward, so we have Green Lantern, Dawn of DC, book number 2. And now we get into our independent comics. And this is a series I'm up to date on. I haven't read this book yet, but I'm telling you, man, this is by Mark Millar with artist Matteo Scalero. There actually are various artists on the books. He has different artists on each book, and this is a 6-part series. This is the last issue. I can't even express enough. If you, as a comic book reader, have not read this story, man, you are truly freaking missing out. This is one of the best comic books that I've read in terms of a series in a long time. The consistency is kinetic, the energy, the plot, everything connects. The characters, there are different characters introduced in each book. And then the nemesis and the villains that they're introducing to. This is just an incredible book to read, man. And basically the premise is you have this woman here, Shung Young or something like that. I think she's Japanese, where she's been imbued with powers, superpowers, and she gives the gift of her powers to other human beings throughout the world. She gives them superpowers to be able to protect and guard humanity. They're almost like the guardians of the galaxy, but they're guardians of Earth on our planet. And she gives 6 different people, 6 different nations powers. One is from Australia. You have another one, I think, from Brazil. One from Mexico. 2 from, you got a mother-son team that are from France, and then you have a secret government and secret agency trying to move on discovering their secret powers and what they are. And this book is basically going to be the culmination of all those stories of what has been written so far. This is from Image Comics, and again, I don't know. I think I'll probably vote this comic book series of the month or comic book series of the year, but the year isn't over with yet, so I have a lot more books to read, but this definitely would be a runner-up, and I really highly recommend this series for any and all comic book readers, man. Absolutely awesome. I'm going to be reading this tonight, by the way, so I can finally finish it up. I can't wait to read it. All right, okay, enough rambling. Let me move on. Then we have Ghost Lore number 2, a very creepy and bizarre story. I read issue number 1. One of the books I've been reading on my little MIA, like I said, missing in action. I away from. I posted some video shorts, but I haven't done, like I said, an extended actual video in a minute. And again, like I said, I've been catching up on my comic book reading. This is from Boom Studios, written by Cullen Bunn, and it's actually an interesting story. The first book was very interesting. Again, this is issue number 2. I think issue number 3 is out, but I'm not for sure. But we're going to read, but this is creepy, definitely so. Then we get into Todd McFarlane books. We have up front here, we have King Spawn. That's a very interesting cover there. Gunslinger. And that's, I'm sorry, King Spawn, issue number 23. And then we have Gunslinger, issue number 21. All right. One of my favorite characters, definitely. And I have the action figure of this. Yeah, so part of the Spawn universe. Okay. Exciting cover there. And I finally got, this is actually a book that I was missing. This is a back issue. I got it reordered, ordered for me from my comic book, one of my comic book shops that I go to. And this is another book by Mark Millar. This is Nemesis Reloaded, with artwork by Jorge Jimenez. Very, very popular and great artist he is. Also from Image Comics. Yeah, so I was missing this issue in the Nemesis series. One of the reasons why I haven't been able to read that, because I was missing this book. So I can finally complete it. And then also Nightclub. I was missing some books from this series. One of the cheapest books out there, aside from McFarlane Comics, which are $2.99, and I've said this before. You have Mark Millar again with Juan Ramirez, the artist on this book, and this deals with vampires. This is Nightclub issue number 2. So this is another series I can finally get caught up on, because I have this one and issue number 3. I was missing, and this is a second printing by. These are second prints. By the way, second print. This is the second print of issue number 2, and the second print of issue number 3. You know, although some people say, you know, that why, you know, some comic book collectors complain about them having so many issues, you know, reissues or whatnot, and re-releases. I'm glad they do that, because, you know, sometimes either I forget what book comes out, or the comic book shops that I deal with, they might not order them, or might not order them on time, or forget to put them in my pull list. So, all right. So there we go. So I can catch up on this too, finally. And I think this is issue number 2. I think I already have this book, but I think I was missing this. Wesley Snipes Exile. This is issue number 2. So I can finally get caught up on this. And then The Nasty, issue number 3. A very, very cool and fun book. I've read issue number 1 and 2 of this, and I'm impressed by it. Very cool story. It reminds me of Stranger Things in terms of the tone and the plot of the story. So issue number 3, this is from Vault Comics. So, and then we have Planet of the Apes, 20th Century Studios, which was once 20th Century Fox Studios, now owned by Disney, published under the Marvel brand, and this is issue number 3. I read the first 2 issues. This is actually really good. This is really good, and I love the fact that it what it does is it entails the Planet of the Apes movies that came out a couple of years back. The ones I said that were my favorite Planet of the Apes movies. What it does, it has a prologue that leads into another story of the human-ape survival and the human-ape struggle. Let me see, what am I trying to say? This was directed from, Matt Reeves. From the Matt Reeves Planet of the Apes movies. What it does is the first 2 books, or at least the first book, it culminates, it's like a prologue, and prologue and an epilogue at the same time, telling the story of these movies. The Planet of the Apes movies, directed by Matt Reeves. This is the DVD Blu-ray. So it shows those stories, and it picks up from there about the virus that took over the planet, the simian virus and whatnot, and what happened with that. A secret government and military intervening on trying to save the apes, as mankind has deemed them the enemy and the reason for the demise of humankind, if that makes sense. But anyway, here's issue number 3 of that story. I think it's written by Kev Walker. I believe that's his first name. If I'm incorrect, you can definitely correct me in the comments below. Always, I say you can comment on these videos. Please do. So issue number 3, Planet of the Apes. And I love this artwork, man. The cover of that is fantastic. I might read this tonight, too, as well as reading the final issue of the book that I mentioned, or that I just showed, The Ambassadors. Okay? So, that's it for this part of the haul. Next up, we're going to get into all Marvel books next. So, let's put these up here. And we start off with The Incredible Hulk. Issue number 1. And I read this is written by Philip Kennedy Johnson. I read the other Hulk book that came out about 3 weeks ago. And man, that was fantastic. And this picks up after that book, the events of that book. And we see Bruce Banner here. And again, this is written by, what does it say here? The Age of Monsters has begun. And it actually puts the Hulk, to me, in a viewpoint of where the Hulk really should be, as a creature. He's a terrorizing creature, monster, formed by gamma rays, as we know. But it has that creepiness, that scariness that, to me, a Hulk story should have. And this picks up on that. If you haven't read the other Hulk that came out, book that came out that preludes to this, I advise you to read that, because the story and events in this story are a follow-up to that. And again, this is written by Philip Kennedy Johnson, who also is a writer of the Alien series for Marvel. And I think he's done an incredible job on Alien, so I can't wait to read this book. Okay. Next, we have Ultimate Invasion, written by Jonathan Hickman, of course. We know Jonathan Hickman, who did the run on X-Men House of X Powers of 10, or Powers of 10, House of X, however you want to say it. Hoxpox, some people call it. So anyway, Jonathan Hickman, Ultimate Invasion, and a lot of interesting things that's supposed to be happening in this story. Very vital story to the Marvel Ultimate Universe. All right, and we have Brian Hitch, Andrew Curry, and Alex Sinclair contributing as well. Okay, and then Rob Liefeld, who I see a lot on Instagram, the creator of the Deadpool character. Here we have Deadpool Batter Blood #1. And I think this is a one-shot, which features Cable and Wolverine on the cover, and whoever this guy is in the background. All right, cool cover there. Deadpool Batter Blood with Chad Bowers as the artist. One of the artists or pencilers, I think, for the story. Of course, Rob Liefeld, he knows how to draw, and he's an artist himself. He draws his own characters, so he doesn't really need an artist per se. So, okay. So yeah, Batter Blood, issue #1, and then we have Miles Morales, Spider-Man from the Carnage Reigns storyline. This is issue number 6 of 7. This storyline is about to get ready to draw to a conclusion. A lot of things going on with Miles Morales. And this is issue number 7. Excuse me. Okay. More Carnage, Cult of Carnage. I love this cover, man. That is absolutely astounding. Frightening, too. Can you imagine if that was your girlfriend? She found out that you were cheating on her or doing something foul behind her back. And this is what she turns to. Your ass is grass. Anyway, so yeah, issue number 2, Cult of Carnage, Misery. And what does the Misery love? Company. And he definitely is keeping her company. And not in a good way. And again, from the Carnage Reign story, issue number 5 of 7. And this issue number 14, I said, yeah. From part of the Carnage Reigns storyline. And I think that's Miles Morales again. Yeah, that is him. Yep. Wow. Okay. More from the SpiderVerse. We have the Amazing Spider-Man number 27. Okay, and of course we know who that is. That's Doc Ock, who has, it looks like, the Black Cat and Spider-Man in his visor, with that very, very wicked-looking smile on his face. Okay, and this is after the events of, and I'm sure you probably all know, the death of Miss Marvel from the last issue. Picks up after that. Then we have Ghost Rider Danny Ketch. This is issue number 2. Yep, issue number 2 of the Danny Ketch version of the Ghost Rider. Love that cover, man. That looks absolutely wicked. He almost looks like the Creeper from the movie Jeepers Creepers, especially with that big brim hat. That is cool. You know, since Marvel has been getting the rights to so many different franchises, I wonder will they finally get the rights, if they'll get the rights to Jeepers Creepers. I kind of hope not. But anyway, this just puts me in mind of the movie because it's one of my favorite movies of all time. The first 2 Jeepers Creepers movies anyway. The rest have been kind of crappy. And then we have Cosmic Ghost Rider issue number 4, a series I haven't even read yet. I haven't read any of the Cosmic Ghost Rider books. In fact, I was thinking of unsubscribing to this particular series because I'm not really interested in Cosmic Ghost Rider. But I will read it, you know, since I have it. And hopefully I'll get caught up before issue number 5 comes out, and I'll determine if I want to continue collecting these. The cover is all pretty cool, though. I like the cover. Then we have issue number 24 of Moon Knight. I think it's like McKay, Sabatini, and Rosenberg. And this is leading up to the big issue that will be coming out, I think, next week. Issue number 25. Let me see if I have that cover. Yeah. This is from the Marvel previews. This is issue number 25 of what issue number 25 will look like. And this came out and this came out about a month or 2 months ago, I believe. It'll be a giant size anniversary issue. Moon Knight, written by Jed McKay. So this is actually giving you guys an early premiere or a preview of what it will look like from the Marvel previews. Try to get that glare out of there. Okay. All right. Let's move along here. So next up we have I Am Iron Man, issue number 4. By Ayodele and Akande. Looks like he's scared to be in the spotlight there. Doesn't want to be seen. And Iron Deer in Headlights. Then we have Doctor Strange, number 4. I love that cover, man. That is really nice. Jed McKay again, with Andy McDonald and KJ Diaz contributing to this book. Awesome. Beautiful cover. All the Doctor Strange covers have been really good. Then we have Black Panther, issue number 1. I think Eve Ewing is writing this. Eve Ewing is the writer of this story, with Alan Young and Arbertov contributing. Black Panther number 1. This is a reimagining of the Black Panther character and a restart of the series. So we have issue number 1, the Black Panther. It says here, Wakanda may no longer have a king, but it still has a hero. The most exciting chapter of T'Challa's life begins here. We'll see. And what is a comic book haul, Marvel comic book haul without Captain America? We have Captain America Cold War issue number 6, part 6, this is? Yeah. Kelly Lansing, Anyabuchi, Mango, and Guru FX contributing. Captain America Cold War, which features Cap and Sam Wilson on the cover there. And speaking of course, we know, this says Omega, so which means the end, of course. So we're getting to the end of the story. I think this might be the end. But speaking of Captain America, of course, next week is the 4th of July. I'm going to try to have a huge Captain America comic book haul, hopefully before the 4th. If I do, it's going to be on Monday. I'm not going to post anything on Tuesday, which is the 4th of July, because of course, most Americans will be celebrating that holiday. Okay, not everybody will, but most will. And then I think this is the last book in this for Marvel, and the last book for the comic book haul. We have Loki issue number 1 by Dan Waters, German Perrotta, and Mike Spicer. This is issue number 1. Weapons from Loki's past now doom Marvel's future. Interesting. I love that cover there. It's a very, very cool cover. All right. And of course, we are getting the Loki series on Disney Plus in the fall. Okay, and so we're back to issue number 1 of The Incredible Hulk from Marvel. And so ends this comic book haul. I hope that you've enjoyed this haul. Please, again, like, share, comment, subscribe. Please give the video a thumbs up. And again, as I said, tap the notification bell so you can get more videos like this as I post them immediately. I hope to have some more videos coming up soon, but I'm really kind of taking, like I said, time out to actually read my books. I spend a lot of money on comic books, so I damn well better be reading them. And again, it's not just that. I do love reading comic books. I love collecting them and reading them, as I said before. And I like to share my experience with you all. I hope that I gave you some inspiration, to read a comic book, support your local comic book stores as well. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. Peace, love, and hair grease.